Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and also subscribe to my sports card channel if you are interested in hearing that type of commentary. Okay, so there have been a lot of talks about the Federal Reserve raising interest rates. You see the 10-year yield getting over 2%. And while the consensus may be that, hey, the interest rates on the long end of the curve will keep on going higher, I don't believe that's going to be the case. I believe the long end of the curve is going to go lower interest rate wise. But the short end of the curve, I expect interest rates to go up, as I've mentioned before. Now, what's quite interesting, if you look at the Fed funds futures, it's on the CME website, just Google 30-day Fed funds futures, you could see that now the sophisticated traders are pricing in 6 interest rate hikes. I think that's crazy. I don't think they're going to raise the interest rate 6 times during an election year. Now, I do believe that they are going to raise interest rates probably about 3 times. It's quite interesting that they're going to do this. And there have been rumblings there could be an emergency rate hike tomorrow of 50 basis points. I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, anything is possible, but at the end of the day, we have to look at the fact that number one, the Federal Reserve doesn't want to be blamed for this inflation situation. Two, they say that the Fed's independent. I don't believe that. I do believe that the president may say, hey, raise interest rates, but don't overdo it because the economy still isn't 100%. Inflation is high. A lot of people are talking about it. I've mentioned that the mainstream media is even talking about it. And part of the inflation, in my opinion, is due to the fact that we have these mandates. And because of these mandates, you're creating shortages in the supply chain, shortages of workers, and sometimes there may be outbreaks of the virus in a working environment. So that definitely creates issues. And that's part of the reason why we have inflation. The other reason is they printed so much monopoly money that it's coming into the environment. It's coming into the economy. So, what I expect, like I mentioned, 3 times probably this year at least. But then within a few years, I wouldn't be surprised they get to close to 2%. And by that time, the Federal Reserve should have an inverted yield curve by then. Why am I confident that there's going to be an inverted yield curve and that spells trouble for the economy? Well, I'm looking at the euro dollar futures markets and I look at it now day to day and I find it quite interesting. A few weeks ago, when I was doing videos on my sports car channel, as I mentioned, the curve was flattening or inverting in late 2024 and then also happening in 2025. But that was only a few months. Now it's at a point where the inversion is starting in late 2023 and now I couldn't believe it. It's going into a huge chunk of 2025. So this is really interesting. It's not that much of an inversion, but you have to ask yourself, what do these traders know? Why are they pricing an inversion? Why do they believe we're most likely going to see a deflationary crash around that time frame? We don't know when, but around that time, as I mentioned, right? First we're going to get inflation, then we're going to get deflation. So, long story short, I do expect rate increases this year, probably 3, even though the market is pricing 6 interest rates. I remember arguing with people, not arguing, I saw some comments saying that they're not going to raise interest rates because it's a Democrat president. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, who is in charge, whether it's a Democrat or Republican. If you go back to the 1990s, under Clinton, they raised interest rates so many times. In 1994, they raised the interest rates from 2% to 5%. That at the same time blew up the sports card market, in my opinion. Interest rates turned from negative to positive. Positive interest rates are not good for the sports card hobby. And it's not good for collectibles, it's not good for any commodities as well. So we have that going on during Clinton. So to say that they only raised interest rates during Republican presidencies, because they did that under Bush, they did that under Trump. But if you look at the past, they raised it under Clinton, they raised it under Jimmy Carter, they raised it numerous times as well, JFK, etc. And the list goes on and on and on. And where we are at right now, they're going to raise it under Biden. And they didn't raise it really under Obama. They raised it about once or twice, not too many times. But it doesn't matter. Inflation is out there. And what the Fed does to try to curb inflation is they try to raise interest rates. Now, it doesn't work in the short run. You don't get rid of it right away. But I do believe that we will see the Fed act more aggressively than what people are thinking. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channels, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.